Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 5:30, and I will call this regular meeting of the Burnsville City Council to order. It is our tradition to stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and we invite you to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have announcements for all of our upcoming meetings, and then this is a very special evening for all of us here in Burnsville because we're in I Love Burnsville Week. And but first I'm going to announce our upcoming meetings. Regular council meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, June 19th and July 17th at 5:30 p.m. We also have a work session that's scheduled for Tuesday, June 12th at 5:30 p.m. and a special work session Tuesday, June 5th at 6 p.m., and that will take place in Conference Room D. But all meetings are held here in the council chambers. Now, since we started I Love Burnsville, and this is our 11th annual third grade essay contest, and I'm going to go to that side of the dais, and if Mr. Bill Raker of Firefly would join me, please. So members of the council, citizens of Burnsville, those who are present here and those who are watching, this is a really special time for us because this contest is about our students and why they love Burnsville. And this is the 11th time. And this has been a wonderful partnership between the city of Burnsville and Firefly, and Mr. Raker is the CEO and chairman of Firefly Credit Union for their support for this program. They're the ones who write the check and put together the certificate. But Marty Kelly and I, Marty Kelly is a VP at Firefly, and he and I go where's JJ? With JJ, go through all of the submissions. Now, JJ had 215 submissions this year that he receives. His job is to try and weed out and bring the best that he deems that we should take a look at. And then Marty and I read through all of those. And it's always a wonderful experience for us. And again, it was very difficult to find the three winners. And we again went to honorable mentions, and we had 4 honorable mentions. And so the 4 winners will each get a check, and the teacher will get a check on behalf of their school. For the honorable mention, the student will get a check. Now, one of the things that was so special about these essays, never before have Marty and I read essays where we saw the heart and compassion of the children. So we said, something's going on in our community and something is going on in those homes for those children to write the essays that they did write and that you will hear about tonight. So, Mr. Raker, you have remarks that you too would like to make.
Yes, Madam Mayor and City Council and guests, thank you for the opportunity to be here. As the mayor mentioned, our credit union has sponsored this event every year for the 11 years, previously under the name of U.S. Federal Credit Union, but we rebranded and renamed a few years ago to Firefly. You know, we're delighted to participate in this program because we love Burnsville too. And we're a great, proud corporate citizen of the city of Burnsville. We think this is a fantastic opportunity to recognize the young people who participate in this and the schools and the teachers that sponsor them. So, Mayor, without further ado, let's get on with the presentations.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll start with the 4 honorable mention recipients. And when your names are announced, please come forward and you'll read your, no, only the winners read their essay. You'll get your certificate and the check, and we'll take a picture, and then you'll stand here. And then once all of you have received your certificates and check, we'll take a picture with all of you. But at the end, with the winners and the honorable mention, we'll take a picture so that the council and our city manager and attorney is also in the picture. So we'll do that. So for the 4 honorable mention recipients, would Spencer Peterson please come up? And his teacher is Aaron Hartle from Ron. Hello, Spencer, congratulations.
Congratulations, Spencer. Here is your certificate. Attached to it is a check for you.
Okay, and you turn around.
All right, let's smile on 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's do one more on 3. 1, 2, 3.
One more, please. Okay. Okay, you stand right there. The next honorable mention is Andrew Urgules and Suarez. Teacher, Kathy Silver from Vista View. Hello. How are you? Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations, Andrew. Nice work. Here's your certificate, and attached to the back of it is your check.
Okay, turn around.
And smile on 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more on 3. 1, 2, 3.
One. And the next honorable mention is Caitlin Carlson, teacher, Kieranza Cooper from William Byrne. Congratulations.
Nice work, Caitlin. Good job. Here's your certificate, and your check is attached to the back.
Smile on 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's do one more on 3. 1, 2, 3.
One more. Or 2 more, maybe. Okay.
And the 4th honorable mention is Leah Kaufman, teacher, Annie Engdahl from Neil. Hi, Leah. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Nice job. Here's your certificate and your check attached to the back. Right here.
Smile on 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3.
So you want to keep your,
Yeah, so you guys.
all come together. Come together up there.
Yeah.
Come on. Stand and hold your certificate so the photographer can see your certificate like that. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, and then on the full picture, we'll get everybody, yeah.
All right. Are you guys coming in? All right, I'm gonna snap a couple of them here on 3. 1, 2, 3. Do another one. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Thank you so much. And now we have 4 winners. We did not have a first, second, third, or fourth. They're all winners. So. The first winner is Marshall Bain, teacher is Susan Sukolo from Gideon Pond Elementary. And principal, yes, come up because I don't think a teacher is here. Because here's what happens, is that there is a check for the school that's presented also. So, Mr. Beaumont, come on. So you're going to come up here and read your essay, okay?
There are a lot of things to do in Burnsville. It has Gideon Pond Elementary School, it has no bullies, and it has deaf and hard of hearing program. Burnsville has Buck Hill, which you can get to ski down, but only in winter. Last but not least, the heart of the city statue. It is where the water park is. I hope I can go to Buck Hill one day.
Congratulations, Marshall. Here's your certificate, and your check is attached to the back of it. And here's the check for the school.
You'll find that out.
All right, everybody on three, 1, 2, 3, and let's do one more on 3, 1, 2, 3.
It's hard to be a celebrity.
So one of the things, if you didn't catch it, he talked about that at his school, people care about the hard of hearing and the deaf, and that there are no bullies. That was the only one who spoke to that issue. So thank you. And the next one is Hadaya Sharif, teacher Jennifer Houtman from Vista View Elementary. Hi, how are you? Good. Please read your essay.
I love Burnsville because it's a welcoming place and it's my home where I live. There are fun things to do. I can ride my bike and have fun at the park. It is a safe place. I can go home safely without my parents picking me up. It has wide streets. There are caring people, like if you get hurt or you don't like it, they stand up for you.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, you're representing the teacher. Okay, here's for the
Oh,
school.
thank you.
Yeah, good.
All right, everybody, on 3, 1, 2, 3. And let's do one more on 3, 1, 2, 3.
One more. Yeah, this one's so fine. Stand. Thank you. The next winner is Chloe Blonigan, and the teacher is Ali Skoglund from Gideon Pond Elementary. So another Gideon Pond. Hi, Chloe.
There are many reasons my family loves Burnsville. One of the reasons I love Burnsville, it has very lovely bike trails. The reason I think they are lovely is because there's a lot of plants and animals to see. Another reason is they are very clean and there is not a lot of trash. Also, there is smooth paths and a lot of kind people. You can choose to walk, run, bike, scooter, and many others. The second reason I love Burnsville is all the fun activities for kids and even adults. Some of the activities are parks, splash pads, stores, restaurants, and a lot more. One of my favorite things to do is go to the parks. There is also lots of sports to do like soccer, ice skating, volleyball, swimming, and many of others. The third reason I love Burnsville is because it is a kind community. For example, I see people picking up trash. Also, people talk to each other and give compliments. People also say hi whenever I go by them. Sometimes at stores, workers give you stickers or candy. I hope to live in Burnsville the rest of my life.
Congratulations, Chloe. Here's your certificate, and your check is attached behind it, so turn the certificate so the photographer can see it.
And you'll still be selling by then. You'll
All
be
right,
selling by
everybody,
then.
on 3, smile, 1, 2, 3. And one more on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Always love more.
And now, the next winner is Jamie Liffelman, and teacher is Allie Skoglund from Gideon Plan Elementary. Hi, Jamie. Now, this little one I know, and I've known for such a long time. I met her at the Y.
I love Burnsville because it is loving and kind. Here are some reasons why. First, the heart of the city is amazing and fun because there's a lot to do. For example, the splash pad is super fun because water splashes out of the holes. The Ames Center has a bunch of plays and art festivals there. Sometimes when you go outside and sit down, there can be little bands playing music and you can sing and dance. I really like how the kids from school sing Christmas carols in the wintertime. Second, Burnsville is a kind community. When there is trash, someone picks it up. When an animal is hurt or lost, someone brings it to a doctor or brings it to their home. A lot of people help our community by recycling bags and getting paper bags. Sometimes people have little fairs. They bring bread, vegetables, and other things. Lastly, this is a safe town. There is no bank robberies or mean and cruel people. The schools do drills if there is an intruder or bad weather. If there is a fire, they call the firefighters. They make sure people are safe. Police do their best job of keeping people safe by going around to town to make sure people are safe. I hope I live here forever.
Congratulations, Jamie. And I'm so glad there are no bank
On three, 1, 2, 3. And one more on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Students, come over. And you guys. Yep. Okay, everybody here? Okay, and then we're going to have all of it over on this side too.
All right, I think I can see everybody. Everybody smile on 3, 1, 2, 3. A couple more here, 1, 2, 3. And one more, 1, 2, 3.
So everybody, and also the honorable mentions, and if you can come here, and then the other principals, if they're here too, so. Come on. Try not to sit in your chair. You guys come here. Oh, yeah.
JJ chair up here.
Yeah.
See if anyone knows.
Let's get everybody to squeeze together
JJ up
here
here.
as much as
JJ
you
Judge
can.
was it. Get JJ up here.
JJ.
JJ, come up here.
Okay,
Wait for JJ.
okay, do we have everybody? Can you get us all in?
Let's see. I can. All right, everybody smile on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's do a couple more here on 3, 1, 2, 3. And on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Congratulations again.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Quicker than that. But still, you just put it together. It's like, at a mall, it is first. That's fantastic. These kids.
And now we move on to citizens' comments. This is the opportunity for anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council. And it's not on an item in a printed agenda for this evening, and not an application form that'll be coming before us at a future date. Is there anyone who wishes to address the council? Anyone who wishes to address the council? Seeing no one, we will move on. The other is additions to the final agenda, and this is for emergency items only.
None from
Ms.
staff, Madam Mayor.
Johnston? Okay. Members of the council? No. Okay. Thank you. We then move on, and the next item is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a group of items that's considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. However, an item on the consent agenda can be removed for a separate discussion and vote. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes an item on the consent agenda to be removed for a separate discussion and vote? Anyone who wishes an item to be removed? Ms. Johnston?
None from staff, Madam Mayor.
Members of the council? No. May I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda, please?
Move to approve. Second.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion, second by Councilmember Gustafson. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Thank you. The next item is the regular agenda, and this is a public hearing. This is to approve the renewal of off-sale brew pub on sale Sunday, on sale wine, 3.2% on sale and 3.2% off sale liquor license. Michelle Collins, our city clerk, is presenting. Ms. Collins.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you noted, this is the annual renewal of liquor licenses for the city liquor licenses. And all the list of licensees was distributed to you in part of your background.
This is the approval renewal, so.
Yes, the renewal.
Okay, on sale for Muddy Duck, the
This
mess.
is- no,
And
the-
on sale. And then, of course, the list
This
that,
is-
yeah, of liquor license renewal. Okay,
Yes, ma'am. This is the renewal for all the liquor licenses within the city. In your background is noted the changes
Yeah.
from last year.
okay,
The approvals are subject to all the obligations of the city, county, and state, and all lodging taxes being up to date, and the required fees, the required documents, required background checks, et cetera. No licenses will be issued if any reason for denial was found. This is a public hearing. I stand for any question.
any questions for Ms. Collins? Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to address this issue? Anyone who wishes to speak to this item? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Members of the council, your pleasure.
Move to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion, second by Councilmember Schultz. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Thank you. The next item is a public hearing, and this is to approve a reseller's license for guns.com online sales and storage facility located at 12256 Nicollet Avenue. Christopher Forsland, our licensing and code enforcement coordinator, is presenting. Mr. Forsland.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and council members. Tonight is a public hearing for the review of the reseller's application for resellers.com, as we've discussed. The business model for guns.com is the sale of used firearms using internet sales. They have a system in place where prospective buyers or sellers will present their used firearm to guns.com to review it, to inspect it, vet it out, and they make an offer on it. The purchaser can agree to buy that, and their transaction takes place. The transactions will only take place between federal firearm licensed dealerships, so we can't ship directly to the prospective buyer. When we reviewed the application, the police department certainly had some concerns with online sales. Online sales have inherent difficulties associated with them, with trying to make sure that we're recording who the seller is and the required information that we need to make sure we don't have any fraudulent sales. Chief Giske is in the audience today to answer any questions you may have on that. What needs to be emphasized too is that, this sale is different from pawn. Pawn is where you put an item aside with a financial security attached to it as collateral. Secondhand goods in this case are exchanged directly as is for the profit in Some of the police department concerns were discussed in depth. They met very much with the staff from guns.com to discuss some of their concerns. All the criminal backgrounds were conducted on everybody involved, and there was no reason found to deny them the application. And the city at this point in time is not aware of any other businesses that are selling used firearms, strictly using internet sales. At this time, too, is we do have Mr. Tom Hudson, who's the Director of Business Development with Guns.com, and his colleagues, if they would like to give any discussion or answer any questions, they can come forward to the podium.
Okay, first I'm going to ask Chief Giesecke to please come to the podium, Chief, because you had some concerns, and my question, Chief, is that did you and the applicant have conversations, and were your concerns satisfied that we have a recommendation for approval?
Madam Mayor, members of the council, our viewing audience, and guests, yes, thanks for asking me to come up here. Yes, the concerns that we initially identified, I don't believe are still a concern. We've worked with Guns.com. They've been more than cooperative. They've met with our staff, worked with our staff. Really what was unique about this, it's not your traditional brick and mortars type of business. So we had, with the online piece, we wanted to look at that, make sure that our existing ordinance was being followed, and I believe the changes that we made and they've agreed to satisfy the existing ordinance, and so we don't have any further concerns at this time.
Okay, thank you, because one of the things with internet sales and gun shows is the background check. And you're satisfied with what they're doing with regard to background checks, which is the statute that the bricks and mortar need to comply with.
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of the council, I'm confident that they're following the required laws, the federal firearms laws. And with us, it was unique in that we wanted to make sure that the people that they were purchasing the guns from, that they could adequately identify them, which they've satisfied that. They're going to upload digital photos, they'll get an electronic signature. So I think the system we have in place will satisfy the existing ordinance, so I think they'll be in compliance. And I'm confident too, if we identify any issues along the way, they'll be more than happy to meet with us, work with us, and work through those things. But as it stands today, the initial concerns we have, I don't feel they're issued today.
Okay, thank you, Chief. It's good to know.
Thank you. Any other questions for me?
I don't. Members of the council, any questions for Chief? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
And Mr. Forsland, you said one of the owners of Guns.com is present and will speak.
Yes, I think we have several representatives
Okay.
here if they want to come forward and
Yeah.
answer any questions.
And please, if you would come forward and give us your name and address and tell us a little bit about your business and the relationship with our staff and how you're executing all of that. Because I understand that there's a dance school next door to you, and you've worked very well with the dance school owners.
I believe so, yes, madam. So my name's Tom Hudson. I would give you my local address, but I just moved there Friday, and I'd have to pull a paper out to read it. I just relocated from Iowa. So the office is located right down here on Nicollet, though. Guns.com is an online e-commerce marketplace where we're going to facilitate the buy and sell of firearms between two parties that between two different locations potentially. Our reseller application has to do with us. We are currently physically purchasing inventory at this time, which will be part of our online sales inventory available to a buyer, whether it be local or somewhere else. So we have worked very closely with our property owner, the property management company, and then the additional tenants in the area to be as compliant and as cooperative and as we possibly can to be a good steward of the neighborhood and a good neighbor.
Yeah, I really appreciate that because the owners of the dance school were very concerned. But I believe that what you have done to work with them to ensure the safety of the dancers next door to your store, I think I don't see any of them here this evening. But so thank you for being a good neighbor, and thank you for alleviating their concerns.
Thank you.
With what's going on in this day and age with schools, I can understand their concern.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions? Councilmember Coughlin.
I just want to say welcome. Thank
Yeah.
you for coming to Burnsville.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. There are no other questions for you. Thank you, Mr. Hudson.
Thank you.
Okay. And I appreciate your working with that school. Yeah. Okay, members of the, is there any, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to address this issue? I open the public hearing. Anyone who wishes to address this issue? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Members of the council, your pleasure.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Coughlin makes the motion, second by Councilmember Schultz. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and a motion carries. Good luck. The next item is to accept the proposal and award the contract to Venue Works, Inc. for venue management services at the Ames Center. Presenting this evening is our Community Service Manager, Julie Dorshak, and also Ms. Kathy Cleveland, who is the Commission Chair for the Ames Center, and then I believe Kara Murphy from the Ames Center Commission as well. So, Ms. Dorshak.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council, and guests. Yes, I'm here to just start this item off. I'm going to go through the agenda and introduce my co-presenters. The agenda is relatively straightforward. We're going to go through the request for proposal process. We'll review for you the company proposal strengths of each proposal, talk about the contract terms, and then finally get to the recommendation. As you know, we've been talking about this for a while now. The management services for the Ames Center are due to expire at the end of this year, and therefore a new contract is necessary for us to ensure that we have continued operations for the facility. So with that, I'm going to introduce our chair of our commission, Kathy Cleveland, to come forward, and then Kara Murphy will also be assisting in the presentation.
Very good. Welcome, Ms. Cleveland, and Ms. Murphy, thank you for being here.
Madam Mayor, City Council members, thank you for the opportunity. Guests, we're excited to be here this evening, and before I begin, I'd just like to say thank you to the committee, which was made up of commissioners and city council and city staff, as well as 2 community members. And I'd like to give a special thank you to the 2 community members that were pulled in mid-process, and they quickly got up to speed, and they brought excellent insight and guidance, and they were non-voting members, but added a great deal. So I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Sal Mondelli as well as Mr. Mark Pivan, both past chairs of the Ames Commission. So the request for proposal process started back in February when that was approved by the City Council for the RFP process. It was a total of 5 months, and as you can see, the process started in February. By mid-March, the firms were notified, and we had interviews scheduled. We did have 2 applicants that came up. The very first interview was scheduled in March. We quickly got through the second interview. The committee again came together and had many reviews and recommendations, agreed upon contract terms, and the selection of the management agency was brought to the Ames Commission, which was approved on May 23rd. So, So we received proposals, just to go back a little bit, from 2 very qualified companies, SMG and Venue Works. The evaluation team members reviewed and completed that by March 9th, and the companies were notified on March 12th of the interview schedule, and I will turn it over to Commissioner Murphy.
Thank you, Chair Cleveland. I get to go through all the details of
Yeah,
what exactly
yeah.
we did. So,
Welcome.
in those 2 sessions, in-person meetings, we had one on March 22nd and the second one on April 13th. Both were 90 minutes in length and duration. The first interview was a framework, overall presentation of information and clarification of their written proposals. And then the second one, each company was sent a very specific and detailed list of questions that they were to address. And again, 90-minute sessions for that. So our rating criteria, there were a number of bullet points that we considered and evaluated quite seriously. Marketing capacity, quality of staff, community partnerships, the ability for bringing in ticketed events as well as non-ticketed events, food and beverage service, building maintenance, management of ancillary services, financial administration and controls, budget proposal, and then overall corporate strength. There was a great deal of time and effort certainly put in this by a number of people. 100 hours by our estimation of evaluation, analysis, deliberation, late night stewing at home. I would say overall, the evaluation team meeting then commenced on the 18th of April. And we went through again in depth the RFP written proposals, the interview process, the criteria around those, a very detailed reference check, and then overall financial analysis was put together. So looking at the strengths of both VenueWorks and then SMG Group, we'll walk you through what we identified as strengths. First for VenueWorks. They consistently met budget projections during our contract period. The executive director has 6 years of experience at the Ames Center and has met or exceeded our expectations. The on-site team has a strong presence and is well-liked in the community. They've certainly expanded events in the building, including dance competitions, corporate events, food and beverage, that black box theater utilization, Church Basement Ladies and Triple Espresso being two of the latest shows that have been in there. Financial projections presented certainly were positive for future years. The proposed budget project's income of $25,000 per year. And VenueWorks will contribute $25,000 towards what we thought was an important community and business marketing survey. In particular, that would help with content and future shows. And then the reference checks certainly indicated a widespread satisfaction overall with venue management services. Now, on the SMG Group side, they had a number of strengths as well. Strong corporate presentations. They're very energetic and certainly excited and eager to work for the city. They have a strong booking capacity. They manage US Bank Stadium, and they indicated an ability to bring events through that network. They have excellent corporate financial and analytical reporting and a strong succession planning. They certainly have financial projections that presented a positive operating capacity with proposed budget projects income of $125,000 a year. They would contribute $25,000 towards a transition plan, as well as $50,000 for marketing efforts to bring new content and new performances to Burnsville. And like VenueWorks, their reference checks indicated widespread satisfaction as well with those that they work with. Chair Cleveland.
I have to put the glasses on for this one. So as you can see, both companies were well qualified to manage the Ames Center, but after many hours of discussion and deliberation and review, it really all came down to two things. One was presenting a plan, and one was presenting proven performance. So if history dictates the future, we can surely say and look forward to continued success with the VenueWorks company that we've had a long relationship with, and we look forward to their current management. Therefore, the Evaluation Committee and the Commission are proud to recommend VenueWorks for the management services at the Ames Center. And the contract specifics are as follows. The basic contract terms, the base fee is $100,000 in the year 2019, plus 3% annual increases. The incentive plan is performance-based, and it's centered on annual measurable goals that are put together by both the city staff as well as the Ames Commission. The financial results incentives are compared to the previous years, And they are 20% of the increase in the gross revenues for incomes such as rent and ticketing, sponsorships, production. In addition, there's 10% of increase in gross revenues for other revenue streams, concession sales, credit card fees, other expenses that are reimbursable. In addition, 2% naming right fees for the existing Ames naming, as well as the 5% for acquiring the new naming rights. That does exclude the first year due to the fulfillment of costs, signage, and et cetera. The terms of the contract are a 5+5. So we're looking at 5 years with an annual option to renew. The contract will include a clause that reopens it should the executive director, Brian, resign, or if the company was sold. So they wanted to keep that open. The total cap fee is $165,000 in 2019, again with a 3% increase each year on the contract. There are additional investments provided by VenueWorks, and they will contribute up to $25,000 towards a community marketing study that the commission has been working on, and together we have been looking forward to identifying opportunities for growth and for outreach. The Angel Fund, we are looking at working with city staff as well as the commission to restructure the use of the Angel Fund, and that is just in the beginning brainstorming sessions or stages. So, as well as the financial reporting, the VenueWorks will be installing a new software program to be implemented by January 1st, 2019. So the Ames Commission respectfully request your acceptance of our recommendation and the proposal terms to continue the contract with VenueWorks for our Ames Center.
Thank you. Thank you to staff, to the commission, and to everyone for all of the work that has been done to bring us to this point. So thank you for the many hours, as Ms. Murphy has indicated, that has gone into this. And so to our staff, thank you very much for pulling all of this together, and to the commission for your participation, and also to Mr. Mondelli and Mr. Peven for their contributions as well. So members of the council, are there any questions for Ms. Cleveland, Ms. Murphy, or Mr. Brian Luther, who is present in the audience? Councilmember Keeley first, and then Councilmember Gustafson.
Well, just wanted to compliment you on the process. This was a pretty big deal. It's a big deal to the city. It's a big deal to the council and the taxpayers of the city, being a city-owned entity. It's quite a bit different than a lot of our other assets. This is a performing arts center. Most of our other assets don't have anything to do with performing arts or people coming in and performing, although we do get a good crowd at the Nicollet Commons Park and some good music concerts there, and hopefully a new one, another one day. But this is definitely a unique facility in a city, and one that I take a lot of respect and admiration to the group of volunteers, such as yourself, to go through that contract evaluation process, and to do it with the right goals in mind, what's going to be in the best interest of the city, the best interest of the taxpayers who own that building. And VenueWorks has brought a lot of things over the years. I remember back when it was first built, and their first year, and the first executive director, and from there and where we are today is quite a dramatic story. And I'm very happy to see, if it wasn't there, I would have recommended it be there, that if the executive director were to leave or the company sold, that we have an exit option, because we have said this many, many times, that a lot of the success that we've had, the operating profit delivered last year, is because of Brian Luther and the work that he's done. And he will tell you that he can't do it without VenueWorks behind him, and all those assets and resources to tap into, but somebody has to drive the car, and he is driving it. And so congratulations, thank you for the great work. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Keeley.
Councilmember Gustafson.
As the liaison to the Ames Center, I've been along the route with you as you have gone through your trials and tribulations of making this happen. I just want to say thank you, and I'd like to motion that we approve the contract.
Second.
Councilmember Gustafson makes the motion, second by Councilmember Keeley. Before I take the vote, I'm going to ask Mr. Luther to just come forward and speak to us about how he feels about this new journey that we're going to be on, the next phase. Yeah, right there.
Right here,
Yeah.
okay, great.
And this is Mr. Luther. Thank you for all of your work and bringing us to profitability last year.
Oh.
We appreciate all that you have done. And I wanted to make sure that you know that publicly, and you've heard that from the council members who have spoken. But with all of the competition, everybody now knows that there is a dance season. And it begins in January, and you're still going through all of that till the end of June. So, Mr. Luther, you've heard the recommendation, and there's a motion and a second. So,
Well-
thank you for all that you've done, and so tell us about.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Council members, viewers, audience members. We're very excited to be standing here today. It was definitely a big process. I want to thank the committee for all their hard work and the commissioners for putting it in there. And we're very pleased, obviously, with the response we received. We're really looking forward to the next 5 years. There's a lot of work to be done, though, still. And as we've recognized within not only the last 5 years of this current agreement, but starting from day one, we're a growing organization, and we just continue to grow. And so now we get to start picking some paths. And as we made a mention with the market research study that we're going to be looking at a very important piece going forward to really look at different types of programming, as a different outreach, different types of potentially underserved audiences that we can continue to grow on and to be able to get more people through the door. So I think it's a very exciting time right now, and we're really looking forward again to the next 5 years. And there is a lot of competition, so we're going to continue to fight as much as we can to continue to get as many shows and as many clients as we possibly can.
And Mr. Luther, next year is the 10th anniversary.
It is.
And so Mr. Peters, and he, the owner of the company, Venue Works, thank you for being here. Thank you for driving up. We're going to have a celebration.
We are going to have a celebration, and so we're going to start planning that now. We've already got some ideas and some things worked out, so we're going to be pulling some people together to talk about what would be the best way to celebrate that first 10 years and the successes we've had. So looking forward to that. Yes.
Thank you, and thank you for all your work. Okay, thank you. Okay, there is a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Again, thank you very much to everyone. Members of the council, we now go on to item number 8, and item number 8 is the appointment of our advisory commissions. And this is all of the commissions. Now, we, on May 29th, the council conducted interviews for all of the candidates for all of our different commissions. And tonight, we will make those appointments for all of the different terms for each commission. And so we appreciate all of the candidates who signed up and came forward and interviewed for each of the commissions. I can tell you that we had a lot of highly qualified candidates for all of the different commissions, and it was a difficult process to go through to come down and choose the candidates for when we only have 3 spots for one commission, 2 for another, and 4 for another, but it was very difficult. So with that, I'd like to begin with the appointments to the Planning Commission. And Councilmember Keeley is liaison to the Planning Commission. Councilmember Keeley, could you please make the recommendations for the Planning Commission?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We are appointing, not nominating, Erica Henderson as a regular member with a term that would end in June of 2021. Michael Robley, a regular member with a term ending also June 2021. And Robert Timmerman as an alternate member with a term ending in June of 2020.
Okay. Councilmember Keely makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Coughlin seconds the motion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. So these are our new commissions for the Planning Commission. And now we move on to the Ames Commission. And Councilmember Gustafson is the liaison to the Ames Commission. Councilmember Gustafson, your nominations, please.
I'm happy to nominate on a night when we've renewed the contract for the next 10 years, your new commission. Basically, you've got a lot of people here. And that would be Amber Cameron, a regular member with a term ending 6/2021. Kathy Cleveland as a regular member, term ending 6/2021. Cheryl Lightshoe as a regular member, term ending 6/2021. And Jim Tooney to complete, I think it was Jane who had left the committee until 6/2019.
Councilmember Gustafson makes the motion to nominate the 4 candidates. May I have a-
Second.
Councilmember Keely
Sorry.
seconds the motion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. And now we move on to Parks and Natural Resource Commission. Councilmember Coughlin is the liaison. Councilmember Coughlin, your nominations, please.
Nominating Jenny Newman from alternate to regular member, term ending June 2021. Mark Cleveland, alternate member, term ending June 2019. And finally, Liliana Berverdi Ortiz, youth member, term ending June 2019.
Councilmember Coughlin makes the nomination. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Gustafson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. The Economic Development Commission, Councilmember Schultz is going to be nominating the candidates.
For the Economic Development Commission, we are nominating Eric Newman, who will move from an alternate to a regular member, term ending 6/2021. Lamar Shingles will be the alternate member, and his term will end 6/2021.
Councilmember Schultz makes the motion.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Gustafson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Congratulations to all of our new commissioners, and welcome to our work together. So thank you, everyone. And now, members of the council, there are no other items to come before us this evening, and a motion to adjourn is in order.
Motion to adjourn.
Councilmember Coughlin makes the motion.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Keely. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Thank you for being with us. Good evening.